And it's a prequel to the Morgan Instrument series. So if you're familiar with those, it takes place about 135 years ago in Victorian London, and it deals with the ancestors of the kids that we know from the Morgan Instrument series. It's about a girl named Tessa, a very ordinary girl who lives in New York and comes to London because her brother, with whom she has a very platonic relationship, sends for her. He just came into some money and he sends for her to come and live with him, but when she arrives there, she is greeted not by her brother, but by a dark coven of warlocks who have imprisoned her brother and are torturing him, and only if she agrees to do what they ask will they free him, and that is the beginning of the story.
Our Fairy Tale series, and also the Spider Chronicles, and also Serge a graphic novel called The Neighbors, and the new book White Cat, which came out on Wednesday, which made me very nervous and bothered Kathy all the time. Do you think people like it? Do you think they like it? It is kind of different than anything I've done before. It's set in a world where 1 in 1,000 people have the ability to do curse magic, which you do hand to skin, which is why everyone in the world wears gloves. There's a kid named Castle who comes from a family of con artists and curse workers. Even though he is not a curse worker himself, he's trying to be a good kid. He's going to a private school and trying to put behind him the fact that he has this weird memory of having killed his best friend named Leela, who he loved when he was 14. He doesn't know why he would have done that, but he has this memory of it that he can't get rid of. And he wakes up on his dorm room from this dream of chasing a white cat, and he has to investigate his past to figure out what happened to him and who he is and what his plan is.
So both Helen and I are writing series that are different than what we wrote previously. I wrote contemporary urban fantasy, and now I'm doing historical. And she wrote, about those little wingy things. And now she's writing about monsters and gangsters. So we both had to do a lot of research. And a lot of research, obviously, you want to do in books and primary sources, but some things you can't get out of books, you have to experience them. So when I was researching London, I made several trips over to London. I wanted to, walk all the routes that I expected my characters to walk, see how long it took them, that sort of thing. And I went with a friend of mine, who is a historian. Her name is actually Clare. I named Clare after her. And she wanted to take me around to the old buildings that she knew were of the period that I was looking at and have me take pictures of the details. So we were near Westminster Abbey, and we were taking pictures of kind of what would have been kind of an old slum kind of region of London at the time, and she's showing me, cornices and doorways and windows and saying, take a picture of that, take a picture of that, get a mental feel. So I went up to a window, and she was like, this is absolutely perfect. Take a picture of this window. So I did, and only after I took the picture and the flash went off did I realize that inside the window was a stark naked man. Frying bacon over his stove. And then he made a very rude gesture at me, which I won't make. And then I ran away. So, the moral of the story is that we suffer very dangerous research. Getting our books just right, as Holland will affirm.
Well, I am writing about con artists and cons. And you know that in that sort of book, there's always a scene where someone is locked in the trunk of a car. So I was coming up on that scene, and I didn't know exactly what that would be like. So I asked my friend Village to lock me in the trunk of a car. Now, the problem with this is that I didn't know anyone with like a Lincoln Town car, so I got locked in the trunk of a hatchback. It was great in the sense that there was some light filtering down. It wasn't totally dark. But it was bad in the sense that anyone could see me back there and think this was kidnapping. Luckily, we were not pulled over. However, what I did learn is that it's very difficult to spot ahead. But mostly, it's actually quite roomy in the back of the car. It's relaxing. Except, so if you were ever abducted and thrown in the trunk of a car, my advice to you is to bring a pillow. One of those ones like you bring on airplanes. Yeah. If I had a neck pillow, I could have fallen asleep.
real danger is that, of course, now none of Holly's friends trust her because she has spent the past couple of years researching how to trick and lie and deceive you out of your life savings.
And what I thought that I would do tonight is, with Cassie's assistance, we're going to teach you a con.
So that you two can trick people out of their life savings.
So it's a traditional con called Dog and Bar. But since we are not near a bar, we're going to call it Dog and Coffee Shop. Alright? Dog and Coffee Shop.
Dog and Coffee Shop.
I will be con artist number 1. Cassie will be con artist number 2. And you will all help me by being the mark. Now the mark is the person who is con. So I will ask you guys some questions, and you will see how this con works. So here you go. You are con artist number 2. And I don't have a dog, but I have this. It's getting free of its leash. Very tricky. But we're going to pretend that this octopus is a dog for the purpose of this con.
We'll refer to it as a dog.
It is a dog. Now, forthwith, it is a dog. So, here we go. Dog bar. Alright, so, you are all baristas. You are making delicious lattes. And I walk into your bar and I say,
Coffee shop.
Coffee shop. And I say, excuse me, can I leave my dog in your coffee shop? I will only be gone for a little while. I have a job interview, and if I don't get this job, me and my dog are going to be out on the street. Can I? No. So what happens? What happens if you say no? They go down the street, right? They try the next person. Or they say, well, can I tie it up outside your coffee shop? He's really very good.
Alright.
And if you were to maybe give him a little water. Okay. So I tie my dog. Tie my dog. And I depart. An hour later, someone else comes in.
Now I come into your coffee shop and looking smooth, alright?
Right.
Fancy suit. So, is that your dog tied up outside? No. That dog is that is an Alsatian spiny mountain dog. Do you know how valuable a dog like that is? No. That's an amazing specimen. I would pay a lot of money for a dog like this. A couple grand, easy. It's too bad he's not your dog to sell. Could I give you my business card and you could pass it on to his owner? Alright, I come from the firm of Pick and Pocket. My name is Hands in your purse.
I give it to one of the baristas.
One of the fine baristas will hold this for
Okay.
us. Alright.
Come back.
I depart.
My interview did not go well at all. I do not know what I will do. How will my dog and I make it? I have no money to pay the rent. So if you're a good person, what would you do? Right? Right? But what if you're a bad person? What if you're a bad person?
I'll buy the dog.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you. Why don't you give me a dog?
I couldn't give you my dog.
$50 for you, though. That can cover a few meals.
$50? How about 100?
Motel down the block.
How about $100?
Oh, Marisa, how much money do you think I make?
Too low for my dog that I love. $100. Oh, very well. Goodbye, my little friend.
Okay, and now what do you do?
Right, $100, thank you. I kiss my dog goodbye.
You call Hands.
You gotta call Hands, and what do you get?
Exactly. That is a classic con.